Hi, this is Margaret from Margaret's Crafts. I want to share with you my January and most of my February knitting, crocheting, and just one little bit of sewing that I did. To start off with, the items that I finished for January is the no, that's not it, Dynamite. What I want to start off with showing you what I finished in January is my Softy hat by Wanda Etchler. I used the loops and threads, thread wool like, in the charcoal color. And I've worn this a lot. This is my favorite hat. You don't even feel like you're wearing this hat when you have it on. I have to keep touching my head, but being so light, it is really, really warm. The next item that I finished was my January socks. And these are from our sock club on Facebook. And the sock yarn that I used is Cascade Yarn Heritage Paints in the Queen of Hearts colorway. And I made up my own stitch, my own pattern. It's just Built More stitch. And I got it out of the Socks a la carte 2 at a time up. But I did them top down. And these have been worn and washed a lot because they are so nice and warm. And I have my finished socks. And that's the only thing I finished in January. What I worked on in January and in February here is my Bellevue tunic from the Love of Knitting Fall 2014. And that's a picture of it right there. And I'm making this out of the Loops and Threads Impeccable in the Earth colorway. I have most of the body is done. I have a little bit more to do. I have the collar is done. It's the long collar, and it's supposed to be like a cowl that you can put the buttons on and close it up if you want to. But the collar is done with the edging is all on it. It's a ribbing stitch around the edge, and the button band is also a ribbing stitch. And then all the rest of the way it's done. And one sleeve is done. I picked up and did the one sleeve. And then it's also ribbing on the bottom. But what you're supposed to do is fold it up and tack it down and put some buttons on the sleeve. So I have a little bit more of the bottom to do. And then pick up and do the last sleeve. And then lay it out and block it. Probably going to steam block it because this is acrylic. I'll wash it, let it dry, then I'll steam block it all. The next thing that I've been working on is my February socks. These are from the Sock Club. The pattern that I'm using is Chocolate Covered Cables by Heatherly Walker and Yam Yanta. And I'm using Premier Deborah Norville Serenity Sock Weight and Surf Colorway. And this is what I have done so far. I do mine basically 2 at the same time. I'll knit so far on one, then I'll knit so far on the other. And I do short socks. So I have the cuff done. I have both heels in, and I'm doing down the foot. So when I work so far down on this one, then I'll start back and this one to the toe. Then I'll work down to this one to the toe, and then I'll pick up and do the other one. And I'm doing the pattern is down the front. I did the fish lip kiss heel, and then just a plain stitch on the back. And I'm about maybe, I don't know how many repeats left till I get down to the toe. I'm not that far off. And then it's the toe. And I have both of those done so far for my February socks. Also for February, I started knitting a blanket. And this one is the basket weave diamond throat. And this is a free pattern on redheart.com. And that's the pattern. It looks like it's a knitted because you do it in sections, but they're all still connected. You don't have to sew anything. And this part with the look like cables, it's the crocheted cables, are the first row, and then it's the basket weave is next, and then I started another section of cables. I just got the tip of that one done. And that's the basket weave with the cable. And the yarn that I'm using here is Red Heart with Love. I'm using the lettuce and the water lily colorway. And the hooks that I'm using are I and J, which is 5.5 and a 6.0 millimeter. And that's all my knitting and crocheting that I have. I did do one sewing for Valentine's Day when I was for my sweater. I did this little bag with hearts and kisses on it with just the red on the inside, and then I do my snap. But my bag, I didn't want it as open because I hadn't made it a bigger bag. So the way I did, I folded the ends in and then put a snap on each of the ends. And then the top of the bag snaps closed. And then I put buttons right there where I sewed the handles on. I have buttons on those. And that's my sewing for this time. It's a flat bottom bag. And it is, I use some very thick batting, not batting, interfacing for this one. So it's nice and fluffy. But Valentine's is gone, so I took it out of that bag and put it in one of my other big bags. The last thing that I have to share with you is some things that I purchased. Okay, the first thing that I picked up was some more yarn to make my, work on my basket. Work on my Afghan. And it's the Red Heart with Love in the lettuce. This is what the water lily looks like when it's all rolled up. It has all different colors, and it has the green in it that is the lettuce. So that's what I'm using on that. And then also I picked up some yarn from a new to me yarn store. It's not too far from me. And it's called Never Enough Yarn. It's in Sharon. It's right over the border. We live right there by the border of PA. And I bought 2 skeins of yarn. It's Universal Yarn and Fusion Hand Paints. And it's 50% superwash wool and 50% acrylic. and I got 2 skeins of those. I'm going to make socks for me and my husband. And the one colorway is Gray Matters. It's shades of gray from light to dark. And I wanted to try this out because it's a thicker yarn. And I think it's a DK. It's a size 3. I think that's a DK. And the one that I got for me, you know, these are to make some house socks for us. This one is called Purple Magic. And it's the different shades of the purple. And it's a 100-grain ball, and it's 291 skeins. And probably for my husband, I'm going to use a solid gray to do the toes and the heels. While I was over there, I also picked up a couple needles. I needed some more chagoos, and I picked up a 24-inch 9, size 9, with the red lace, and a 24-inch size 11 red lace. And the chagoo stainless steel. And I also joined the Yarn Box sock club. And for this month, the yarn that I received was this, I don't know how to pronounce this, Koigu, Koigu KPM. And we have 2 skeins, and the one that I have is colorway 1110. And they are 50-grain balls, and it is 100% merino wool, 50-grain balls, 175 yards, or 160 meters. I don't usually like to use my socks with just 100% wool, so I'm not going to make socks out of these. I may make a shawl. I don't usually make shawls, but I think I've made one shawl, so I may make a shawl or figure out something to do with these, but I don't see me making socks with these. I hope that next time we get something that has nylon or something in it to make it a little stronger. And that's what I got from my yarn box. And that's all that I have to share with you today. Thank you very much for watching my videos. Bye.